All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Christine Irwin from Voices of Hope, and we're back with another episode of Coffee and Consent, the campaign we're running throughout Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And today I have the opportunity to speak with Cathy, who I've recently met, and I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. So Cathy, I would love if you could just give a little background on yourself and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited we've connected too, and that I have the chance to share my story in a bit of a unique perspective. So my name is Cathy Hughes. I live in the White Oak area. I work for Wesley Family Services as a business development associate and social entrepreneur. Something that I promote within my role is a curriculum that teaches healthy and safe relationships to individuals with disabilities. So when I saw your campaign, I thought that I could really offer a very unique perspective. Not just some of my personal story, as I'm one of those Me Too's out there, and you know, in my professional world, my personal world, everything's kind of collided, and I really think I can share a very unique perspective with your listeners.
Great. Well, Cathy, first off, thank you for being willing to share that, that you are too also a Me Too. I'm so sorry that you had to experience what you went through. Nobody should have to experience that.
No,
so I'm right here with you. So, but thank you. And I think your perspective is so amazing. And that's why I'm so excited to talk to you. So to get started, obviously this is a conversation revolving around consent. So my first question for you is, what is consent to you?
To me, the definition would be someone's willingness, their stamp of approval, their permission to participate in an activity or situation, and that you have the power to give that consent and be able to understand it.
Okay, perfect. No, I couldn't agree with you more. Now, tell me a little bit about, when do you think consent is taught or should be taught?
As early as somebody can cognitively retain that knowledge and find an understanding. It needs to be as early as possible so even children can be safe and understand what is okay and what is not okay.
Definitely. No, I agree with you. The younger, the better.
Yes.
So I have a 2.5-year-old son, so I agree with you. We need to teach it early.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things going on in the culture, our culture right now, that was revolving around sexual violence, such as the Me Too movement. Can you tell me, with the Me Too movement, what changes do you hope to come from it?
You know, there's so much that has already come from this movement, including, letting it be known that women will no longer tolerate being victimized, being bullied, being belittled in any way. As I said, I'm a victim myself. At age 15, I was assaulted by someone who thought that it was okay to take what he wanted because he paid for my dance ticket and put a flower on my wrist. Nothing ever happened to him because the principal at the time was best friends with his father. So I was told I was just a tough girl to get over. In recent years, I worked for someone who referred to me as one of the girls. So I've been victimized in that way. And I've been able to use my voice to help other women, such as my best friend who is a domestic abuse survivor. On the other hand, in my professional role, and the way I say my worlds have really collided, is that I'm now promoting a curriculum that teaches people how to have healthy and safe relationships. I have a son with autism who has been bullied and who truly doesn't really have a great grasp of all of those social nuances, as many people with autism and developmental disabilities and intellectual disabilities don't quite grasp. And it's something he's struggled with since he was younger, and still to this day at age 20 doesn't quite understand. There are so many times I fear for what's going to happen. What if I were hit by a bus tomorrow? Who's going to protect him? Who's going to be his voice? Who's going to help him to understand? So people with disabilities are 7 times more is likely to be victimized or assaulted. And that's something, that's a reason I really wanted to reach out to you, was to provide that message, not just saying I'm someone who gets it as a woman who is another Me Too, but we're going to have way too many more Me Too's if we don't teach everybody, no matter what walk of life they come from, no matter what their ability or disability is. We need to teach them how to have healthy and safe relationships, and teach them what consent is, and let them know that it is okay to say no.
Yeah, no, you are 100% correct, and that's what, one of the things that I always talk about is what you said, this sexual violence knows no boundaries. It doesn't matter, your race, your religion, your social status. It doesn't matter at all. And I can't begin to tell you, and I haven't dived into, I actually work for an organization that works with individuals with intellectual disabilities and mental health diagnosis and such. but I work more on the human resource side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing, a perspective like you said, like yours. I wanted to make sure that we connected too, because after you reached out, I mean, that is, a lot of people don't know that, and that statistic you shared. I mean, it breaks my heart to hear, that it affects everybody. It's not just women.
Right. And that's something I really wanted to drive the point home, that with this campaign, I want it to be about not just the women that have been victimized, but anybody who could be victimized or taken advantage of unfairly and unjustly.
Yes. No, exactly. So to wrap up our conversation, and you kind of touched on it a little bit already, but one of Voices of Hope's campaign is called Be a Voice. How can you be a voice for individuals that feel they are silenced?
I really want to be able to empower people to use their own voice. If they didn't trust me, I'd encourage them to speak to another trusted individual, to be able to find that voice and find that power to speak out. Mm-hmm. So that's, really what I push is self-advocacy and self-activism. And I want someone to share their story. And when they share their story, I want to know that they're heard and truly listened to. Part of being a voice is also being able to be a very active listener and effective listener.
Yes. Yep. Oh my gosh, totally. And that's one of the big things. I think someone that is victimized too, that sometimes that's all they need is someone to listen to too.
Right.
So no, thank you so much for providing your perspective today. I know to everybody out there, I know these are quick conversations. However, I know Cathy has contributed in the blog as well, so you'll get to see her blog post on some further questions discussing this topic as well. So Cathy, again, thank you so much for being here today with me and wanting to be a part of this campaign. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So thank you.
And thank you for letting me use my voice for a greater good. I appreciate it, and I so appreciate everything you're doing for this community.
Thank you. Well, I'll let you go. I'll let everybody else go. I hope everybody else has a great day out there, and stay tuned for our next Coffee and Consent episode. Have a great day.
Thanks.